few minutes of your time this morning. As I discussed earlier, Mark, Texas A&M University recently completed a study on companies like yours that rent equipment. And 82% of the respondents to that study have told us that an increase in equipment utilization will increase their return on investment. And 46% of the respondents of the study have told us that, in fact, they don't track equipment at all. So, Mark, based on these studies that have been done by Texas A&M, RSC Equipment Rentals went in and did its own study and found that within its own customer base, that 24% of our own customers miss their equipment cutoff dates. And they're missing their equipment cutoff dates by an average of 15 days. Now, Mark, I'm going to draw an illustration that helps better explain our program to you. Now, based on conversations that you and I have had, today, your present processes of renting equipment include multiple vendors. You're using sometimes 3 and 4 different vendors to rent equipment. We know that currently you have a decentralized type system where you have many different people involved in the process. You have many different systems you're using to accomplish this. And part of the problem with a decentralized system is you're using all these different pieces, and what you're trying to accomplish is getting the equipment and tools to the right place at the right time. And decentralization works in a lot of different companies, but we've found that in the equipment rental process, decentralization sometimes is not the best answer. Now, our customers tell us, customers like you tell us, that use similar processes, this is causing them to have too much equipment on rent. Also, it's causing them to keep their equipment on rent too long, and as we mentioned earlier, the systems they're currently using are far too complex. With the too much, too long, and too complex issues that your systems are causing, what you have today is really a system that is costing you too much time, costing you too much money, using too much time, and too many people. And a good way to look at this is we have a fragmented system here. And really, what this represents, Mark, in this fragmented system is we really have a reactive process. Now, challenges for companies such as yours is how do we get from today to the future? Now, the greatest risk that your company is facing is getting from today to the future and maintaining a high degree of excellence and effective management. And failure to move away from this reactive process to the future is going to limit your growth and limit it significantly. So, a lot of organizations like yours choose to address this problem of too much, too long, and too complex by simply making a decision based on price. And we'll show that right here. And our studies have actually shown that price really has an impact of 1/6 of the financial impact that companies like yours are truly facing in this rental process. So, choosing to manage your equipment rental by price alone sends companies, and I like to use this term, into the abyss. And that's currently where we are today. Now, only companies working with RSC are able to achieve their organizational goals. Now let's look at these goals, and we'll start to illustrate these goals by drawing a bridge between today and the future. Now, our first goal, and we'll indicate it by a pillar here, is that of improved visibility and accountability. Now, what if your team had the insight into all aspects of the rental process with tools such as RSC's Total Control? We'll write that right here. You can have unparalleled management and the functionality to optimize the rental process. Now, this will reduce redundancies, late return rentals. With RSC's management by exception strategy, you can focus and actually have actionable data based on your criteria to empower your team to make the best strategic equipment decisions. Now, some firms also leverage embedded GPS technology. Now, our second goal and we'll illustrate it like this, is to streamline your operations. As we discussed earlier, you have terribly complex systems you're using. So by streamlining your operations and processes, what if you had a partner in managing your equipment effectively? Now, with RSC's managed services strategy, you'll have a dedicated partner familiar with your organization and your processes, and most importantly, you'll have a partner in maintaining a safe and efficient working environment for every member of your team. Now, the third goal is cost control and cost reduction. Now, what if you had the right tools, the right strategy to make a substantial impact on your organizational overall equipment cost and return on investment? With customized scorecards and key performance indicators benchmarked against industry standards, you and your team will be empowered to operate at the highest possible levels of efficiency. You will have your own customized data to validate and justify rental decisions across your entire operation. And more importantly, you will have actionable information to make future decisions. Now, companies are choosing to work with RSC to achieve those goals. We refer to this strategy as RSC's consumption management philosophy. While this might be a little bit unfamiliar to you, it's a new strategy that companies such as yours are implementing to magnify the savings to a level of 6 times. 6 times that of price. And it can only be accomplished by working with RSC, helping you bridge the gap between today and the future. Having the right equipment at the right time with processes that reduce cost is the heart of consumption management. It's the bridge that crosses the gap from today to a future level of excellence. Now, if you truly want to align all of the factors associated with equipment rental, if you want to move from this fragmented reactive process to a more, and we'll draw it like this, proactive process, you want to replace risk and success, the only clear path forward for you is working with RSC. You truly will go from a fragmented reactive process to a reactive process. Now, this is what best-in-class organizations are doing. Now, we actually took our RSC consumption management philosophy and we took it and tested it with a major oil and gas company. And what we found was this. We found that these numbers, 35, 28, and 3 were key indicators. What we found that this major oil and gas company, by utilizing RSC's management consumption process, actually realized an increase in equipment utilization. And at the same time, realized a 28% reduction in cost. And all of this was achieved over 3 months. Now, Mark, what do you think of what we've just gone over? And when can we move ahead?